Good morning. Now let us see registration of partnership form. In the last class we had discussed partnership deed. Registration of partnership form. Legally it is not compulsory for partnership form to get itself registered, but then also partners prefer to get form registered because an unregistered form suffers from following serious problems. Now understand that registration of a partnership form is different from partnership deed. Partnership deed is a document in which the partners record their name, address, and all the details about the partnership form and the partners are given. But registration is, it has to be registered with the government or registrar of the firms so that it gets a legal validity from the government and it does not have any type of problem, or in case of any type of problem government may help that particular firm to solve its problem. So registration is although not compulsory, but it is advised to do so. What will happen if the firm is not registered? Consequences of non-registration: a partner of an unregistered firm cannot file a case against the partnership firm. Suppose you are a partner and you feel that you have been cheated by the remaining partners. If the firm is not registered, you cannot file the case against that particular firm to get your right. Then a partner of unregistered firm cannot file a case against any other partner of unregistered firm. So any partner of or unregistered firm cannot file a case. He cannot get his right if he has been cheated by any other partner of any other unregistered firm. So suppose there are two firms A and B, both are unregistered. So any partner of A cannot register case against any partner of firm B. Third is, an unregistered firm cannot file a suit against any third party or outsider for recovery of claim. Now suppose your firm is not registered and one of your debtors have not paid you the amount of debt for many years. You cannot file any case against that person to recover your debt. So this is a problem in case of unregistered firm. And the unregistered firm cannot file a case against any of the partners. And even the firm itself collectively cannot file case against any of the partners. Suppose there are three partners in a firm, and out of three partners, one particular farmer has cheated the remaining partners. The remaining partners collectively cannot file case against that particular partner who has cheated. These are the problems. That means in case of any type of cheating, any type of problem or legal problem, you cannot approach the court if the firm is not registered. So it is better to get it registered. Now, what are the procedure for registration of the partnership form? A partnership form can be registered at any time, that is at the time of formation or later on whenever partner desire to get it registered. So it is not necessary that you register the firm at the time of forming that particular firm or business. You can later on also register the firm. So you can start the firm without registration and later on you can get the firm registered also. To get the firm registered, the partners have to apply to the registrar in a prescribed form along with registration fees. So you have to pay a fees and there is a form for registration of partnership form. You have to register your firm. Along with application, the following information must be supplied. So what are the information that should be supplied to register the firm? First is name of the firm. You have to write the name of the firm that you want to register. The principal or main place of the business of the firm. So address of the factory or address of the head office, that should be written on the form. Name of any other place where firm will be carrying on business. So if the firm has any branch office, so address of the head office as well as the addresses of the branch offices are to be given. Not only branch office but branch factories also, these have to be given in the form. Date of admission of partners in the firm. So when the partners have joined the firm, it has to be written on the form. So it is not necessary that all the partners have joined on the same day. Sometimes some partner may have joined another day, another year. So all particular dates of joining of different partners should be written on the form. Then duration of the firm. So if the firm is for indefinite duration, it should be written on the form. If it is for a particular period, if it is a particular partnership, then also it should be written. And if it is any other type of partnership, so there are several types of partnership on the basis of duration. So whatever duration is applicable on that form, so if it is particular partnership, or it is for any particular contract, or it is a normal partnership or partnership at will, so this has to be mentioned on the form. The application must be signed by all partners. The registrar will verify the above said information, and if stated with authenticity of information, that means you have to provide some proof also. So address, office of the firm or address of the branch. For that you may have to prove with the help of some address proof, and if the registrar is satisfied, he will issue a certificate of registration. The certificate of registration is evidence of existence of firm, and firm gets benefit of registered firm. After registration, if any changes are made in information submitted with registrar, then the same change must be communicated to the registrar. So suppose after registration you have opened one more branch, that information should be provided to the registrar of firms. That will be updated in the records of registration office. So you must go through some case studies also. Solution of these case studies are given in your book. Then all these answers you can see. So please see these case studies, read these case studies, try to understand. Now let us see or discuss the difference between partnership and sole proprietorship. These are the two basic forms of business and easy to form. What are the differences? Number one, partnership is governed by Partnership Firm Act 1932. Sole proprietorship has no separate act governing. So there is no separate act for governing sole proprietorship business. So normally all the small businesses are sole proprietorship without any act. Number of members in a partnership, we all know it is minimum 2 members. Now this is not correct, which is given in your book. This has to be corrected. It was earlier maximum 20 in as an ordinary business or 10 in banking, but now according to Indian Companies Act 2013, the maximum number of partners now is 50. So this correction is required. Now sole proprietorship, only one member is there. Basis of formation. So in the live class you should remind me that this correction has to be made in business studies books. Then basis of formation, agreement called partnership deed. Partnership is based on partnership deed, and sole proprietorship has no agreement. A single person can start the business without any agreement. Risk, in partnership, the partners jointly bear the risk. So the entire risk of the firm is divided among the partners on the basis of profit sharing ratio. In case of sole proprietorship, the entire risk is owned and borne by the the proprietor or owner himself. Finance. In case of partnership, larger finance is arranged because there are many partners in the business. But in case of sole proprietorship, only small finance could be arranged because the sole proprietorship the only person who can arrange for capital or finance. So this is the difference between the two. Decision making, all the partners are consulted, they take decisions collectively, and due to this reason sometimes the decisions are also delayed. It takes time to take decision. In case of partnership, in case of proprietorship, since the proprietor is the single owner of the business, he can take decision very quickly because he is not required to consult anybody. Division of profit in partnership. Profit is divided among the partners in profit sharing ratio, which is decided among themselves, and it is written in the partnership deed. If they don't have partnership deed also, they can have some agreement on sharing of profits. And in sole proprietorship, all the profits belong to the sole proprietor only. So go through these differences, remember, and try to memorize it because these are important for examination point of view. Now let us see the difference between partnership and joint Hindu family business. Now partnership is governed by Partnership Act 1932 and HUF is governed by Hindu Succession Act 1955. Number of members in partnership, again this correction is required, minimum 2 members, maximum 50 members. And in case of joint Hindu family business, they should have minimum 2 members, so at least one karta, at least one co-parsoner. And for maximum there is no limit because whoever takes birth in the family, he becomes the member of joint Hindu family business. In case of male or female, in partnership there is no gender inequality, no distinction. Any female member can also become active partner in the partnership firm. In joint Hindu family business, female cannot become active member of joint Hindu family business. Till 2004 this was the case. In management, all the partners manage and control the partnership firm. They do it collectively. In case of joint Hindu family business, Karta is the manager of the business, so he controls and takes all the decisions. Liability is unlimited in case of partnership. Now in case of joint Hindu family business, the co-parsoner's or members have limited liability up to their capital contribution, but in case of Karta, the limited liability is not there. The Karta has unlimited liability. This is the difference between the two in case of liability. Then division of profit. Profit is divided among partners in profit sharing ratio. In case of HUF, you will find that equal share in profit is divided among all the members in case of HUF. They don't have any profit sharing ratio. Minor. In case of partnership, partner cannot be a minor. A minor cannot be included as any active partner. But in case of joint Hindu family business, even a minor can become member because along with birth, the minor becomes the member of joint Hindu family business. So these are the differences. Again, this should be again revised carefully, and then one correction also has to be made. In the live class, please remind me. Cooperative organization working together with others for a common purpose. Now next form of business is cooperative organization. Till now we have discussed sole proprietorship, partnership and joint Hindu family business. This is the fourth form of business. Cooperative, as you know, name suggests it is for cooperation of each other, because if a single person or few people are not able to do the business or motivate each other, in case of cooperative, many people, hundreds and thousands of people can form common cooperative and then help can each other and they can benefit each other. Now take one example. Suppose there is a shopkeeper in a place which is outside the town, far away from the town, 30-40 kilometers, and there is a shopkeeper who sells the goods at higher rate. He knows that I am the only shopkeeper of this place, so people will purchase at whatever price we charge, and then the people want to get rid of this. So all the people of that area, of that village, they collectively open one shop and they collectively arrange for vehicle and go to the town and purchase goods from wholesale market bring it to their shop, which is called cooperative shop, and the people who are the members of that cooperative, that means those hundreds of people of that particular village, they will be the members of cooperative, and goods will be sold to them at very low price because they only have contributed capital and purchased the raw materials. So what is the benefit? They are purchasing at low prices from wholesale, and this benefit is being transferred to all the members. This is an example of cooperative. Similarly, in case of milk cooperative, in India, most of the cooperatives are, or milk businesses are, in the form of cooperative. So in which the farmers individually are very poor. Farmers, that means milkmen, are individually poor to arrange for chilling centers, packing of milk, and then conversion of milk to milk products like curd or cheese or sweets. So what they do, they form a cooperative. So Amul is a cooperative, Sudha is a cooperative, Mother Dairy is a cooperative, in which all these milkmen collectively form cooperative, and then they establish a plant in which milk is chilled, processed, and then packed. So this provides benefit that they preserve the milk for many days, their milk is not destroyed. In case of individual farmer, individual milkman, you will observe that if the milk is not sold, they have to throw the milk because milk is a perishable product. So this is a form of cooperative. There can be many more examples. So cooperative form of business is different from business enterprise. In this form, the main motive is not earning profit. So you remember, not earning profit but helping each other and mutual help. It works with principle each for all and all for each. A cooperative society or organization is voluntary association of persons who join together for mutual help. A minimum of 10 persons are required. So minimum number of members in cooperative society is 10, and registration of cooperative society is compulsory. So they cannot work without registration, and capital of cooperative organization is contributed by members in the form of share capital. So as in case of company, in case of cooperative also, the capital is divided in shares, and all the members have to purchase shares, then only they will become the members of cooperative. And this organization can also take loan from bank. So this is recognized by the government and take loan from bank. So these are some definitions of cooperative. Indian Cooperative Societies Act 1912. This says that cooperative organization is a society which has its objective for promotion of economic interest of its members in accordance with cooperative principles. So this is one definition. So today I conclude the class with this definition of cooperative society. So we will continue this particular topic in the next class. Thank you.